1970, we sure we did live for fruit. Knowledge for selfish, for sure we did do the work. Auditorium to basement of all faculty of law. We did represent, stand tall anywhere we go. Work hard and we shine, commitment, dedication. Neurosurgery, comedy, music, Nollywood. SOTK, Dr. Call, MC Casino. We did represent, stand tall anywhere we go. Great UNIBEN, great UNIBEN, great UNIBEN, great UNIBEN.
Hello, viewers. Welcome to another episode of the UNIBEN Alumni Series. This is a show that we celebrate exceptional alumni of University of Benin, men and women that are shaping their different endeavors. And on today's episode, we have a man who is UNIBEN true and true. A man who has seen it all, or is on that mission to see it all at our great institution. He is Dr. Kingsley Oaikhena. He's a lecturer in the Faculty of Education and is also the Executive Secretary of Westerner School of Thought. Comrade, sir. You are saying comrade, I guess. thank you for joining us. Good to have you here today. Thank you, sir. Let's start the conversation from your bachelor degree in education. You had a bachelor degree in education and agriculture.
Yes.
Then for your postgraduate, your master in education and your PhD, it was in counseling psychology.
Yes.
So why the switch? Is there any relativity from agricultural education to counseling psychology?
Well, I want to thank you for granting me the privilege to be on this esteemed program. Like you already mentioned, my name is Dr. Kingsley Oaikhena. That's my full name. My first degree was in agric education. It happened to be that I was among the first set of post-UME students, the first set that partake in post-UME. Although I wanted to study medicine, flowing with the tide of time, classmates and peer influence, but however, my score was not high enough to get me into medicine. So I got agric education, which I just managed, but due to the environment where I found myself, I was not the only one left out of the course choice he or she chose. So we just had to adjust, adapt, enjoy the best of it. But in 400 level, precisely second semester, something dramatic, unique that I wish would always happen in my life happened. I partook a course which I currently teach, Introduction to Guidance and Counseling. So I fell in love with the course, and then under the tutelage of Professor Mrs. Elizabeth Omotude Egochukwu, who also happened to be my PhD supervisor, she so introduced the course that I fell in love with the course. And I said, if I must continue on the educational path, this is the choice, this is the path. And I'm happy, I am fulfilled educationally, although I am still aiming higher. But where I am, I think this is the best place for me, and I'm making the best of it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. You just mentioned that because I was going to ask, why did you initially choose to study education? Because the unofficial statistics that we have is that more than 90 to 95 education graduates or students actually did not pick education as their first choice. When you got into education faculty and you wanted to study medicine, did you reapply? Did you try to uh, get to another course or study medicine? Did you reapply for JAM or something?
No, I didn't. The jam with which I gained admission happened to be my third trial. The first was 180 something. Then I wrote from was it SS2. Then in SS3, I got 217. That's when I wrote my SSC. But that particular year, it was highly competitive. Highly competitive in the sense that you have to go extra mile to either merit your grade or push through any means to gain admission. But in that the year I gained admission, which was 2005, the first set of post-UME opened the door for both those that know and don't know people. It was based on merit. So when I got admitted into education, I was looking for the faculty of education. I didn't even know the faculty existed. I thought only those that went through NCE would be teachers or would study education. So when I got there, I found out that there are departments I've never heard of. So there was the need to learn, which is one talent I possess. I want to always learn. So when I got there, we were warmly welcomed. Orientation, we were imbibed with the culture of being a teacher. Well, on the long run, I didn't rewrite JAM or pursue post-UME. I just wanted to get my degree, and from that level, things changed.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about your activities in school. You were you were one time the director of sports for your department. Thereafter, you served your department. You skipped the faculty and went straight to the student union government, where you served also as the director of sports. What inspired you to serve in this capacity? Was that something you had planned, you had always envisioned before coming to the institution, or when you got into the university, you saw that there's an opportunity for you to serve in this capacity, and which you later did? So, what inspired that move?
Thank you for your question, Comrade Kaka. I want to start by saying I came to school with the intent of just surviving. But you see, University of Benin has a way of rebaptizing you into the true expectations of life. So in my year one, I was privileged to be in Block B, room 203. Two rooms before mine was 201. Then we had the caretaker committee that midwifed uh, Comrade Wagboy's tenure as SUG president to Dr. Onojame Joseph as SUG president. So the caretaker committee chairman was Comrade Paul Igbineri. And as a year one student himself and some other persons like Dr. Martin Sigbineweka, who is we are currently in the same department. He's my very senior colleague, and some others like okay, I could remember their first name. There's one nickname Utengbo. There's another one Orelu. Most of them are abroad now. So they took me as their boy. They will either send me to help them get food or other errands, and they commanded power not for themselves, but for the good of the society, the student environment. So it was on that note I said, well, I have learned some things and I have to put them to use. And I had to start from the department. So after the department, my classmate was already the director of sport SCG when I was handing over. And my course rep then, Aisha, I can't remember her other name now, but her name is Aisha. My classmates inspired me, and they said if I was able to set a good pace at the department, because I got them jerseys, organized departmental games, they said then SUG should be the next level. I was like, how? How possible? It wasn't an easy road, but I had three aspirants. We were three aspirants. Two got cleared, and I eventually won the election with 18 votes.
Hmm.
Yes, 18 votes, and I was also privileged to organize two vice chancellors games, interfaculty games in the University of Benin, and my predecessor was from education, and we were able to, by the special grace of God, make my successor from education.
Hmm. So it was an hat trick of education students
Yes,
as
yes,
director of sports as a then.
exactly.
Okay. You mentioned that you got into the University of Benin to survive. You're just there to survive. I want to ask. We know that student politics at times it is finance consuming. So how were you able to put the resources together to vie for, especially the Students' Union Director of Sports? Because we know how the UNIBEN politics go, and we might be from a slightly different generation, but not too distant. We know there's a lot of finance that go on when it comes to alignment, as we call it, and all of that. So how were you able to raise funds for posters, meet with students and all?
Well, it wasn't an easy road, but then I had, I had friends that were genuine. You know, the University of Benin introduced you to a community where either you are pursuing the same goal, or the person is from a similar background, or another person from a higher background, but ready to learn that which you have that they have not experienced. So for the SUG race, I had a very senior cousin who was already in 500 level in engineering. He introduced me to his classmate whose dad was into printing press in town, then at Urubi area. So I went there, and we designed the poster awaiting the clearance. So upon the clearance, I was adopted. Yes, you know the stakeholder things. They adopted me, although there were some betrayers, but I had one forerunner whom is of blessed memory now, Comrade Chukuma Oli Stephen from English and Literature. He was more than a friend, he was a brother. He bared my burden. On the day of the election, I could remember why results were coming in. I was just relaxed, but he was tensed. He was tense to the extent that he had to use the restroom and nothing came out. It was it was so interesting that if when I recount my experience there, I'll say it's worth it. I also want to mention specifically the Faculty of Agric. Yes, Faculty of Agric and Faculty of Law gave me my winning votes. I will forever remain indebted to them because they did the magic. I think I was 100 or something behind, and the block vote I got from Faculty of Agric and Faculty of
Mhm.
Law gave me my winning vote. I won with just 18 votes.
Hmm. That was
18.
close.
Yeah. So my friends were always around me to get vehicles because we needed to take our campaign to the Ekewan
Our
campus.
campus, yeah.
Ekewan. My friends, they foot the bills, both for refreshments, making photocopies of posters.
Yeah.
Stephen was at the forefront. All the stakeholders meetings, he attended all of them. I didn't attend one. None I attended. What I was hearing was, we adopt him, we adopt him. Although there were some betrayal, but let's leave that for now.
It's quite common with such politics. You served at the departmental and student union government level. What can you say with benefit of hindsight that was your most significant impact that you made as a student leader? What policy or what project did you embark on that you felt was quite impactful to the UNIBEN student community?
I want to say there are a lot. I did a lot. Like I said, I organized 2 interfaculty games,
Mm.
and prizes were attached, which I cannot recall right now. And then Comrade Philip Shaibu, the immediate past deputy governor of Edo State, was just won his first term in the House of Assembly. He himself, Madam Lagos, and some other highly placed individuals in the society were among my opening and closing guest ceremony. But however, I was able to set the pace in University of Benin by projecting the first live match at Hotu Car Park.
Oh,
Yes,
what we came to enjoy later on.
exactly. So it wasn't an easy road. I got sponsorship for that project. The then manager of Wema Bank,
Mm.
my major sponsor, and I got encouragement from Professor Eddie Raigbe of Faculty of Arts. He
Mm.
was the dean of students then.
Mm.
He made mention of something to me. He said, "What you are about to do now is the first of its kind in University of Benin, and you might not count it as a plus, but on the long run, it will be your biggest project." So in the process, it was Mayu Baka.
Oh,
Yes,
it was not
It was Champions League
semi-final.
final.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
And I am still a Man U fan, and we lost.
Okay.
We lost the match to Baka.
Oh, then
Yeah.
okay, then it was not the 2008 because the 2008, if I can remember, I think Mayu won.
No.
That was a Coscoso. It
This
was not
was
the 2009.
2009.
2009. Oh, the
Yeah.
final. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Champions League
Okay.
final.
The 2-0 final. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Merci.
So that is one of the biggest projects I executed that I
Mm.
can count that I'm the first person
Mm.
ever to have projected a live match in the University of Benin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let's teleport forward a bit. You are not a lecturer. This is a full circle where you used to sit in classes and receive lectures. Now you are the one giving those lectures. This was like more than 2 decades ago because you came into the university in 2004. So if I'm correct,
2005 December. Yeah.
2005. So this is over. This is about 21 years after. Now you
Yeah.
are a lecturer in that same faculty. What has changed? Is there any significant change in the educational system within the university that you have noticed compared to now?
Well, I want to say in the educational system, in the environment, first, we now see them like as our children, our younger ones. So I try to figure things from their perspective because learning should be the learner centered. In education, you are taught to carry your learners along, ensure the concepts is being described from a perspective that their maturity can grasp. So in the educational environment, precisely Faculty of Education, a lot has changed. But as a former student of same faculty, I wait till there is need for me to mention to them that I'm a full-blooded UNIBEN student, undergraduate, masters, and PhD, all from the same faculty.
Mm.
Although my initial department, which is vocational and technical education, have been upgraded to a faculty. We now have a faculty of vocational and technical education. But
Okay.
be that as it may, we make students understand that we are one students. These your agitations. There are better ways to go about it. We try to carry them along, ensure that the road through which we got to our current destination is not is not bushy or the bridge burnt. Instead, we build a better bridge to carry others along.
Okay. Let's talk about UNIBEN to you. You just mentioned that you are UNIBEN through and through by your certification. You have been in the school for your bachelor, your master's, your PhD. Even in between, you have worked in the institution for about 10 years or even more than 10 years now. What what can you say UNIBEN is to you? How do you place UNIBEN in scheme of things when it comes to your own life?
Okay, thank you for the question. University of Benin to me is my ITD. ITD, I is for inclusion, T is for training, and D is for development. So with this my ITD, I don't think there is a better way for me to describe University of Benin, because I first got job as a security personnel. Yes, I rose to from security officer 2, I rose to security officer 1, and when the window was open for redesignation, I got redesignated in 2021, where I became an assistant lecturer.
Mm.
Well, for me, University of Benin would help you break into a strata that ordinarily you won't be able to get into, which is the inclusion. Then the training has to do with your academic training, as well as other curricular and extracurricular activities. Then the development is for you to find a place for yourself in the society. Initially, I wanted to be an army personnel because my dad, my late dad, blessed memory, was a police officer. And I said, well, to upgrade the game, I want to be an army personnel. But along the line, I got to understand certain things about life that if it is not for you, it is not for you, no matter how hard you try. And
Mm.
I found fulfillment as a lecturer with the University of Benin. I find fulfillment with
Oh,
it. I'm
oh.
proud to be a UNIBEN product.
Yeah, we all are so proud of that.
Yeah.
I want to take you back to after your graduation when you were manager of Blessed Foods. That's where most of us met you, and you took us as your younger ones, and you actually helped a lot of us with academic, with just basic things of life, how to survive the environment and all. Uh, yeah, you were manager of Blessed Food owned by we call her uncle, and
Yes,
yes, wonderful
yes.
people.
Mr. Bernard Eragbo Gerumwa and his wife.
And the wife, yes. And Blessed Food was not just a restaurant for most of us. It was more like a meeting point for political discussion, dates, and other students gathering. How was it for you managing a sensitive spot within campus? For me, I see it as sensitive because we had all kinds of students coming there. Like I said earlier, not just to eat, but to have political discussions. It was at the heartbeat of the institution, the June 12 building. It was strategically positioned. So how were you able to manage the caliber of persons coming in for both the primary reason to eat and for other reasons?
Well, you
And,
see,
and sorry if I may add, how can you judge that area of your life, that phase of your life?
okay, blessed food for me was a family. The owner, Mr. Bernard Ogerumwa, and his wife, Mrs. Eugenia Ogerumwa, took me like their son. Till date, I call both of them daddy, mommy, and my children know them as grandparents. So at the point I took up the job in Blessed Foods, It was 210 after we handed over as SUG executives. We handed over to Miss Chinelo.
Yeah.
Chinelo handed over to
Martin Luther.
Martin Luther Beata. That was the period I took up the job as the manager of Blessed Foods. And it taught me a lot to be humble, to be purpose driven, to be focused on God, because from God you can get anything you desire. Victory is from God and God alone. I found myself taking food from downstairs to the office occupant of the office where I served before.
Years back.
So I was served in that office. Now I am serving the person or the office rather. So it taught me a lot: humility, re-strategizing your replanning and strategizing for the future. And I was given a free hand to make certain decisions as it concerned the business. At times, they will come there for alignments.
Yeah.
Ordinarily, there ought to be, when two parties, two opposite uh, uh,
Political camps.
alignment team
Yeah.
clash, there ought to be crisis and damages. But what I simply do is appeal to them. Remember, this school, this office you are struggling for is just 1 year. I was director of sport SCG. That is when some of them will now come to the realization that they are talking to a former director of sports, one time this, one time that, in UNIBEN language.
Yeah.
And I will also make them understand that there are better places for you to for you to hold your meeting. If you want to fight, go to the field. But within University of Benin, it is not allowed. You cannot fight. It is not allowed. So God just helped us anyway.
Mm.
In the long run, God helped us. We were able to manage students and non-students that patronize the business. And for that phase of life for me
Mm.
was a phase of humility, to rebuild where I gathered the stones that I'm still using to build my life today. It was from there I bought the master degrees application form,
Mm.
and while I was still pursuing the PhD, I was frequent there. So
Mm.
blessed food for me is home away from home. I do tell my friends and colleagues at times, I said I have life scholarship with blessed food. It's a life scholarship because I served selflessly. Yes. If you want to get anything done, do it yourself. That was how I operated from Blessed Foods. And for those that came around, those that knew me, those that don't know me, from there we got to know. Till date, people still call me manager.
Yes, we
Yes, they
do.
still call me
We
manager.
still do. Uh, I want to talk about one of your articles that you published on local journal, the impact of substance abuse and addiction on ethics and values among students. This is quite a serious case, a serious issue in our society today, substance abuse. We have seen a lot of clips, the effect, the impact of substance abuse in our society. If we narrow it down to our state, Edo State, it is a sad story. And recently, I got a friend who is quite conversant with the workings of our psychiatric hospital, and was talking about the number of admission they do have these days in the hospital. There are a lot of young people, young adults, young people coming in there, being brought in by family and friends because of substance abuse. Please, I would just like you to give us a brief narration about your research before publication of that article. What did you see on the streets? What did you see, and how did you come to the conclusion about the effects on their ethics and values for students and young people.
Okay, thank you for your question on that aspect of my research. It's one of the numerous research I have conducted, but you see, substances covers a lot. Substance abuse is among the numerous areas I have researched on, but I got inspired to pursue that aspect owing to the fact that there were too many challenges resulting from substance abuse.
Mhm.
I got introduced to a course, abnormal psychology, and under abnormal psychology, there is a chapter that dwells on substance abuse. And there are certain uh, substances we consume that we do not perceive as being harmful to us or being abused, but on the long run, they are. I will tell you for free. When you are stressed and you take Coke or Pepsi, there is the likelihood that you get back some energy and be more active because they are both mind stimulant because of the caffeine it contains. So for that my study, my focus was on undergraduate students. I found out that students spend some of them hard earned money, some of them allowances just to get a particular substance that would on the long run become a problem to them and their family. You see, in the society where we find ourselves today, the person that is mentally off balance does not have problem with it. It's you that is the relative, that is the friend that will be challenged because of stigmatization,
Mm.
and you'll be discriminated on by those that know you to be an associate of that. And substance abuse for me, I've not done enough. No, I've not done enough. There are other pending research on why one engages in it
Mm.
and how to reduce engagement, which we in counseling, in psychology, we call it intervention, therapeutic intervention, to help in reducing engagement in the use of substances. Although some of these substances have a medical advantage, but when used over a long time, there is the chance of one becoming dependent on it, which we
Mm.
call dependency. And at this level, they start having other side effects from this substance use. Are you with me, sir?
Yes.
So it's based on this ground, the side effects, failure to meet up to academic expectation, poor interpersonal interaction, becoming a nuisance to the society at large. At large, these were my drive because I wanted the students to see why they should not engage in the use of these substances. Yes, abstinence is the best bet. But for those that are already in it,
Mm.
how has it affected them? Are they in regret? Because when they use these substances, they are now in regret. Some slip into depression, and depression, is a killer.
Mm.
It can lead to a whole lot. In fact, depression is the window to drowning of dreams. So my intent was to bring it to people's awareness, the the negative effect of substance abuse, especially on undergraduate students. Thank you.
Okay. Hopefully this will be your inaugural lecture, because it is something we need to discuss. It is something we need to continue to talk about because of the effect on Nigerians and especially young people. It has been wonderful having you, Dr. Kingsley Oaikhena. Good. I enjoyed every bit of the conversation. Thank you for granting us this opportunity to appear on the UNIBEN Alumni Series.
Thank you, sir. It's a privilege. I'm humbled.
Thank you, sir. I've been speaking with Dr. Kingsley Oaikhena. He is a lecturer in the Faculty of Education, University of Benin, and also the Executive Secretary, Western School of Thought. Continue to subscribe to our channel, bring you more exclusive interviews of UNIBEN alumni. Bye.